everybody, and welcome to Naturally Kim's Knitting. I'm Kim, and this is my podcast all about knitting and spinning and dyeing of yarn, all of which I do from my home right here outside of Lima, Ohio. It seems like forever since we've last chatted, and I'm sorry about that. I did have some family things going on, and I'll try to talk about that later on, but oh my goodness. I did put a little video out last week about showing pictures of why it was I didn't have a formal podcast last week. So anyways, today is October 2nd, and this is episode 134. You can find me on Ravelry as NapiersKnits, and then we have a podcast group called Naturally Kim's Knitting, and that's where you can, if you sign up on that page, you can then enter our knit-alongs or make comments or all kinds of things. So it's a fun little group. We have a knit-along that's always going, and so it's always interesting to see what everybody posts. Then I also have an Etsy store called NapiersKnits, and I have on Instagram, I am knittin_Kim, and on YouTube, Blogger, and WordPress, you can find me as Naturally Kim's Knitting. Whew! I hope all of you guys are doing great. I'm just so happy that we get to visit again. Each one of you are special to me. It makes me feel good when I have new people watch, but then it makes me feel good when I have my friends come back and watch. Okay, I mentioned a knit-along a minute ago. Well, I have a finished object knit-along that we're always working on and we can always add to. Now, I have locked the old one because it was getting rather confusing. So I did open a new thread for finished objects. October is what I think I put. And I'm just going to open that every time I close an old one, or basically the first of every month. And that way it'll be a little bit easier to keep track, and I won't have curiosities whether this person actually got it in time or whatever. If it's in there when I lock it, it's in there. Okay, so for our finished object knit along, for the first prize, and I just put it somewhere, there it is. First prize is this book, and it goes to Handmade Studio 1. Congratulations. It's so cool. I love that this is going to go to somebody who loves to knit. It is full of cute patterns, and I think you're really going to enjoy it. I would have kept it, but if you saw my bookshelf, you would know why I didn't. Okay, then we have another prize winner, and they can pick any giftable pattern from Ravelry. That's up to $7.50. And that is, and I'm going to get it wrong if I don't look, eyenowhour. Congratulations, you guys. I'm so happy. Now, I will tell you this, because what I do, for those of you who may be new, oh my goodness, I just dropped something. We start off every month with one prize that is for sure. I thought I had another one of these. Sorry, my chair over here is just filled with stuff. Well, so for our finished object thread, when I have 1 to 10 entries, the prize will go to somebody in the thread, and it is, maybe it was just 4, okay, 4 of these mini skeins. I got these from Fazona, and I just love these. She actually sent me tons of them, and she told me to keep what I wanted, so I kept a few out, but there's these, and I'll have more another time. So that will go for when I have 1 to 10 entries in there, somebody in the thread will get this. Then if I have 10 or more, I add prizes for every 10. So a winner, I mean, just because I have 30 people in there, that's really going big. The second prize could go to somebody who entered at the beginning. It could. It's just anybody in the thread. I know, it's confusing. I'm sorry. I should just stop talking about it because yeah. Okay, then we have another knit along going along, Maylas Knit Corner knit along, and there is a link in the show notes for Maylas Knit Corner Knit Along, and I, at least on my WordPress and my Blogger show notes, I am going to put some pictures from her mittens, because that's what we're working on. It could be mittens. I'll show you. I'll try to show you some. Sorry for the glare. There we go. If I don't get glare from one place, I get it from another. There's one of her mittens. There's some fingerless mitts, and yes, you could do fingerless mitts or mittens. You can do mittens for kids, mittens for grown-ups. There's another pattern, and then there's another pattern of fingerless. And she has some more on there. I just felt like I needed to put a stop to it somewhere. And if you can think of a certain pattern, it should be a free one, that you would like to do a knit along with, or a certain designer, put a note down below the show notes, anywhere underneath the video, and let me know what pattern or what designer you would like to see us do in the future. Okay, on the needles. Trying to figure out where to put my show notes, because I don't want to drop my show notes. Guess what I got back out again? I'm so tickled. I don't know if it was because my daughter was here or what. Oh no, I did pull the needle out. Oh well. I started working on our afghan again. And you can tell, we're kind of in the honey squares right now. That's all I've worked on. So I think today, if I get to work on it today, I will be doing forest heather, I believe. But this is how far I've gotten so far. I think I'm into the April squares. So, you know, I'm just a little bit behind. I was keeping up there for a while, but then I put it aside. So this is my temperature afghan. Each square represents 1 day's average temperature from the day my daughter was born through the day before her first birthday. And I made this out of knit Picks Swish DK, size 4 needles, and it's the memory blanket, I believe. So, yay! I am so tickled. I love working on it, and it doesn't take much effort to get a couple squares done. I just put it aside because I had so many projects going on. But, hey, that's the way life can be sometimes. Then, get the right thing out. I have Christmas socks I'm working on. I've changed this, which I'm very glad I did, because you can see the pattern a little bit more. This is my spread your wings pattern, sorry. And you can tell there's some little wings right across there, and legs, and then a tiny head. It's hard to see on here, but this is my spread your wings pattern. Since I've restarted the socks, it will not be until I finish these that I get these posted. And then it'll be free for 1 day, and then after that, there'll be a cost. I just don't know what yet. So those are Christmas gifts. Can't say for who, they might be watching. Then, so I know I didn't have one of these done, I'm pretty sure, the last time we talked. It's been so long, I just don't remember. But there's one of my socks from my Gail's Art sock blank. I believe it was Hawaii. And here is sock number 2. This is also a Christmas gift. Can't say for who. I think I have, with Gail's Sock Arts, I always get the single knit, so I can only work one sock at a time. So let's see, I've got, 2 or 3 inches before I'm ready for the heel on this one. But isn't that gorgeous? And it all came, yeah, this is the Hawaii, this sock blank. Look, it's getting shorter. It is actually getting shorter. So yay, there's that. Put that out of the way. I'm done with that one. Then my scrap yarns. I know I finished a pair, but I think I put them with where all my finished ones are, so I don't have them down here with me. But I started another pair. Ta-da! That's out of my, I do know this is my NapiersKnits Mint Chocolate sock yarn. I haven't made this for sale yet. I will. I just have to wait a little bit. Sorry. Janie, I'm sorry. I know you called. I'm sorry. I will get back with you in a little bit. Okay. That's my friend Janie. Then, oh, I cannot forget this. Oh my goodness. I didn't bring it over. Oh, there it is. I forgot. It took Harley's place. This is the Garden Gnome hoodie by the Expat Designs, Mina Phillips. I have, so there is the little neck opening. It just stays open. And you work from the top, sorry, top down. And the sleeves are just done in a stockinette stitch. And then there's a little seed stitch on the body part. I just got the sleeves divided off yesterday. And so now I'm working on the body. And this is my home dyed, home spun, worsted weight. I don't have a name for it. Genevieve picked it out. And this sweater is for Genevieve. If it turns out, I might make another one for my grandson Tobias. I haven't decided for sure yet because I have so many patterns, and I would like to try designing something of my own to start giving to my grandkids. So yes, this goes to my little granddaughter Genevieve, and I love it. It is so pretty. It was a merino, superwash merino, and so I thought that would be perfect. Merino nylon, sorry. And I'm using size 4, which is 3.5 millimeter, and size 7, which is 4.5 millimeter needles. I always have to look at this because I forget. Excuse me, you're going to see me up close for a second. Because I left, like I said, I didn't bring my other scrap yarn socks over, but here is my chemo, caps for chemo kids cap, whatever it is. And I had Genevieve try this on when she was here because I said, I just want to make sure it's not too tight or too loose. And it fit her perfectly. So she's 5. She is petite. So I know this will fit a child pretty well. And it's nice and warm, but it's also, it's not itchy at all. So I'm thinking that'll be a perfect hat for somebody. Okay, fun stuff. Well, first of all, as you know, I am an affiliate with Knit Picks, and they have their Mighty Stitch yarn 20% off this month. And their Mighty Stitch yarn, which is the worsted weight, 80% acrylic, 20% superwash, $3.19 for a 100-gram ball. Then they have their Mighty Stitch super bulky for the same price, $3.19 for a 100-gram ball. Now that will be less yarn because it's super bulky. And then they have their bulky, same price. So I've not worked with this yarn. Anybody who's out there, let me know how you feel about it. Did you like it? Was it not really what you were wanting? Or just let me know. Then, guess what? My resolutions. Next year, my resolutions aren't going to be as high. I have completed 8 soup kitchen socks. I have completed 19 chemo caps for kids, that's what it is. You guys were probably all yelling that at me, and I didn't have my listening ears on. I'm sorry. I have 6 scarves done, and I have more than 3 garments done. Okay. You know, I always say when the mailman has to come to the door, I get really excited because it usually means I have a knitting surprise that's coming my way. Well, he came last week. Wasn't expecting him. I didn't order anything. And there was a nice little box, and I'm thinking, okay, did I order something? And then I saw the return address, and I put this all in my thank you to her. I looked at the return address, and I knew she'd won some prizes recently. I thought, oh, she didn't like something, and she sent it back. That wasn't it. I opened it, and Linda, because she sent me 2 skeins of patent Croy sock yarn. I didn't even look at the name of it, Purple Haze. And anybody who knows me, purple anything is perfect. And these are going to be a pair of socks for me since they're purple. I really haven't made a lot for me this year, and my socks need replenished. But that wasn't all she sent. Linda listens really well to my podcasts because I was talking about how I wanted a knitting bowl. Look what she sent me. A knitting bowl. I have my Gail's Art sock blank in there. Look at that. I am so excited. Thank you, Linda. It came, I think, well, it came after the wedding, but not long after the wedding, I think. Yeah, it would have had to. And I was just so tickled pink by it. It was kind of like it continued my adrenaline high from the wedding and from my birthday. And, you know, it's, anyways. So, I have read quite a few books since I last saw you. I'm not even going to try to list them all because there's a lot. But if you're interested in seeing what I read, you can go to Reading Writing. Reading Writing is so much more. I'm forgetting my own links and patterns today. And there's at least 4, possibly 5 books in there. Might even be more. I do not remember what I've reviewed before I left for the wedding, what I reviewed after. Then Knit Crates has sent out their new boxes, but I haven't received mine yet. I will have it more than likely by next week. But I'm sorry, I got distracted by something. If anybody who's interested for a money's off subscription from Knit Crates, look on my show notes and there is a link, and you should be able to. Now, anybody who's interested in my yarns over at my Etsy store, Napier's Knits, it's all $18 a skein, plus shipping and handling. But I'm figuring what doesn't sell before long, it's going to become mine. So you know I like it. No, what I'll do is I will probably start knitting out of it when I need to, but that's not right now. If you could see my knitting stash, oh my goodness. Okay, fun stuff to talk about, besides receiving things in the mail. So you've been hearing me talk about the wedding, and those of you who don't know, my son and my daughter, well, now my daughter-in-law, Ian and Rachel got married on the 22nd. Yes, I've been smiling like this whenever I talk about it. Oh my, they are such a lovely couple. I will try to put a picture or two at the beginning of the video, and maybe at the end too. Yeah, they were lovely. Ian actually wore a Napier plaid tie, and originally they were supposed to wear green ties. Well, I saw the Napier plaid the day of the wedding. I said, I didn't know you changed. He goes, oh, well, the kids are okay because my grandson was in it and he had a little green bow tie. He was very handsome. I'll have to bring that picture up too because he was very sharp. Anyways, my husband happened to bring a green plaid tie. Then he brought his Napier plaid tie. He wasn't sure which way to go. And when he got there and he saw the guys all in their Napier plaid ties, he put his on too. So I had my Napier guys in their Napier plaid ties. And the wedding, well, let me go to the rehearsal first. Because as you know, I was going crazy. We ordered quite a bit from the grocery store, but there were supposed to be like 60 to 70 people there. And we were doing hamburgers, brats, and hot dogs. But then you always have to have other goodies. So I made some goodies and we took them. And I believe everybody got one plate of food. And then the sky let loose and it was a downpour. So as far as seconds went, people didn't take seconds. So we brought home quite a bit of food because there wasn't anything else to do with this. We've been munching on our rehearsal dinner food, which is just fine. It was good food. Then, let's see. So that was the rehearsal, then the wedding. It was outdoors. And my granddaughter was the flower girl. Now my grandson was one of the flower or ring bearers or little attendant, junior attendants, I guess you could call them. However, he didn't make it down there, which is fine. He's 2. I tried to have my nephew in my wedding when he was 2. He didn't make it either. But my daughter, my granddaughter, I mean, who is 5, she was the flower girl, the one and only. And she's, you know, I told her beforehand, I said, do you know why your job is so important? She said, why, Grandma? I said, because the rose petals that you put down are going to help Aunt Rachel's dress just smell so beautiful. So she started off just gently doing it. And by the time I was able to see her, she was just tossing them. And bless her soul, she did such a good job that about 2 rows before the front, she ran out. And you know, there's one of 2 things well, there's several options you had to choose from. Continue going down the aisle, but don't have anything to sprinkle. Go back and pick some stuff up. Or go back to the beginning of the aisle where you see Mom back there. Well, she started thinking, what do I do? And she went back to Mom. And I told her, I said, do you know why everybody chuckled? I said, because you were so cute and you did such a good job. It doesn't matter you didn't make it all the way down the aisle. Well, then the bride came down accompanied by her parents. And my daughter got to do 1 Corinthians 13. And it was just so nice. My son had 7. Wait a minute. Did he have 7 or 8 attendants? Including the best man. And she had as many females. Only one had broken her foot and she wasn't able to make it down. So 2 of the guys got to join up elbows at the end. But may I tell you, it was just wonderful. And then the reception, they had cupcakes and they had cookie platters. And it was just really fun. Just really loved it. So anyways, that's all my tales about the wedding. I have many, many pictures. My friends Jenny, Linda, and Janie, thank you so much for helping me because, as you know, my grandkids live in California. I live in Ohio, so I only really get to see them, to hug them and play with them in person whenever we're together, which is less than once a year. So they were at the house that we were staying at, and then Jenny, Janie, and Linda volunteered to help me do some last minute put together things. So while I was playing with my grandkids, they made snickerdoodles. I think we ended up with exactly 5 dozens. They put together the coleslaw, and they made deviled eggs. Bless their souls. And then they had to rush back and get ready because I wanted them to help put the food out for the rehearsal. And it was a good thing they did because my husband and his brother and her wife helped to set things up. And the rehearsal was supposed to start at 5. They had to rush back so that we could all go to the rehearsal. And we didn't pull out of the house till 5 o'clock. My son texted me or called me and he goes, "Are you coming?" I said, "Yeah, we're on our way." And we had to kind of hurry. Well, then we had car issues, and I was a wreck by the time I got to rehearsal. I couldn't stop crying. I said, I'm going to cry now. Anyways, let's just say everything then went off without a hitch. It was a fun time. Like I said, I will try to put pictures either at the beginning or the end or a combination thereof. But, yeah, that was my week. Such a good one. Anyways, I'm pretty sure that not many of you had weddings this past 2 weeks. I did have a birthday. They did take me out for my birthday. My brother, who came to the wedding, also had a birthday the next day after the wedding. My son's birthday is October 5th. Oh, I forgot Rachel's was on the 27th. And then Genevieve's is coming up. Hers is on the 16th. October is quite a month. I feel like I'm forgetting something or someone, and I don't mean to. I'm sorry if I did. Anyways, big month. So anyways, I want to thank all of you for watching this week. I hope you guys have great luck with any knitting projects you do. If you make mistakes, I hope they're easy to correct. I love you guys. Big hugs. I love you. And I'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.